2025, NATO faces three major challenges: the stance of US President Donald Trump, the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war, and the pressing need for increased defense spending among European member states. The alliance stands at a historic crossroads, with internal cohesion and external threats intertwining into a complex narrative. Welcome to Black Bloc Hong Kongers, your go-to channel for in-depth discussions on international politics and global crises. Stay tuned as we uncover the truths behind the headlines. Like, share, and subscribe to join our community of critical thinkers. With Trump returning to the US presidency, NATO's future is once again clouded by uncertainty. Known for his tough and transactional approach, Trump has consistently prioritized America first, often at NATO's expense.
And then I went to meet the leaders and the folks that run NATO, all the leaders of NATO, and they weren't paying their bills.
During his first term, he threatened to withdraw from the alliance, criticizing European members for failing to meet defense spending commitments. Now, he's reportedly considering raising the spending target to 4% of GDP. NATO Secretary-General Mark recently warned, simply increasing budgets without improving efficiency will make the 4% target meaningless. For many European nations, however, this demand already seems insurmountable. Amid slowing economic growth and rising inflation, additional defense spending could spark domestic unrest. Compounding the issue is the disparity in economic strength among European NATO members. Smaller Eastern European nations, such as Estonia and Latvia, struggle to meet even the current 2% target, despite recognizing the imminent threat posed by Russia. Meanwhile, larger economies like Germany, though capable, face significant public opposition to increased military budgets. Analysts suggest Trump's 4% goal is not just a financial burden, but also a test of NATO's unity. At the same time, the Russia-Ukraine war has entered its third year. NATO member states have repeatedly affirmed their support for Ukraine. But as the conflict drags on and resources dwindle, questions remain about the sustainability of that support.
To announce today the commitment of a new Ukraine Security Assistance Initiative package worth nearly $1 billion.
Currently, the United States is Ukraine's primary benefactor, providing the bulk of military and financial aid. Should Trump decide to reduce or cease this support, it is unclear whether Europe could fill the gap. Germany's Der Spiegel has warned that without US backing, NATO's other members could face a financial crisis. French President Emmanuel Macron has sought to influence Trump's stance through diplomacy, even inviting Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to share the stage at the reopening of Notre Dame Cathedral. However, whether this strategy will succeed remains uncertain. Meanwhile, Ukraine's potential NATO membership remains a contentious issue. Although many European powers support Ukraine's accession, Germany's cautious stance and possible resistance from Trump add complexity to the process. Russian President Vladimir Putin has made it clear that Ukraine joining NATO would constitute a direct threat to Russia's security, potentially triggering a broader military escalation. European NATO members increasingly recognize that reliance on US protection is no longer sufficient to address current security threats. However, strengthening their own defense capabilities is easier said than done. In areas like intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance, Europe lags significantly behind the United States. For instance, European NATO members lack satellite systems capable of monitoring enemy territory and sufficient strategic transport aircraft for rapid deployment. A study by the European Council on Foreign Relations estimates that addressing these gaps could take 10 to 15 years. a timeline starkly misaligned with the urgency of emerging threats. Analysts emphasize the need for greater cooperation among NATO members to avoid duplicative investments while accelerating the development of critical technologies. Beyond Russia, NATO must also redefine its role in addressing the challenges posed by China. By strengthening partnerships with the Asia-Pacific, far Australia, New Zealand, South Korea, and Japan, NATO is extending its influence across regions. However, this strategic pivot brings new challenges. On one hand, it risks sparking internal disputes over resource allocation within NATO. On the other, it could lead the US to shift more resources to the Asia-Pacific, potentially weakening its focus on Europe. As Rafael Allos, a researcher at the European Council on Foreign Relations, observes, if the US abandons NATO, it will find it harder to counter China's threats. This argument has become a cornerstone of European NATO members' efforts to secure continued American support. However, achieving a balanced global strategy will require not just US engagement but also Europe's own awakening. In 2025, NATO finds itself navigating a future fraught with uncertainty, from Trump's unpredictable policies to the protracted Russia-Ukraine war and the need to bolster Europe's defense capabilities. The alliance faces significant challenges to its resilience, yet this moment also presents NATO with an opportunity to reaffirm its value. Under pressure from both external threats and internal divisions, can the alliance forge a new strategic direction? Will Europe rise to the occasion with greater unity and autonomy? The answers to these questions will unfold in the years to come. Thank you for watching BlackBlock Hong Kong's Global Insight Network. Like, share, and subscribe for in-depth analyses on international politics and critical issues. Explore these videos next and join the conversation for a more insightful world.